Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be taking a look at a game from the 2024 the WR Chess Masters Cup. Now this game is played between Abdusattorov, Nodirbek, against Alexandra Kosteniuk. Alright, so actually, another recent tournament, which was the 2024 the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League. In this tournament, these two players, they are also like in different teams. And so I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alexandra Kosteniuk is in the Treveny Continental Kings, and Nodirbek is in the PBG Alaskan Knights. So like these two teams, they have been facing against each other in the finals as well, and in the end the Treveny Continental Kings won the tournament. And so like these two players, at some point, like they're also like opponents in another, like in that tournament, because they're on like different teams, and these two teams have been like facing against each other many times. So, and in this game, they, like these two players, they have been like they are now facing against each other. So I think like in this game, actually, Alexandra, I'm gonna tell you guys the result already. So like Alexandra Kosteniuk actually has won this game against Nodirbek, but still, I think still, just my opinion, okay, Nodirbek is still much stronger than Alexandra, because he is because he is a men's grandmaster, like rated 2700, while Alexandra, like she is a women's player, women's grandmaster, not women's grandmaster, but I mean she is only rated 2400, and in the end, like still Nodirbek is much stronger than her. But sometimes you're just playing really good against a higher rated player, and that higher rated player sometimes is just like not in the correct mood to play chess. And actually that happens a lot, because when I'm training at our chess school, sometimes I can win our strongest player in our school. Like sometimes I can win one game against him, but that doesn't mean that I'm stronger than him. It just means that I am not bad, but still like I need to improve. And probably today I just got lucky. I am in my best playing form, and he is not in his best playing form. So yeah. And I think that is what happened in this game. Nodirbek actually was already winning in the middle game, but then he blundered somehow. He actually blundered en passant, and Alexandra immediately won the game. So we're standing on her side, and white is Nodirbek, black is Alexandra, and let's see what happened. So Nodirbek started with e4, and Hikaru Khan is on the board, c6. d4, d5, knight d2, d takes, knight takes, and knight f6. So actually, when I'm playing like these online games, especially online games like blitz games, for example, I can see that like before bishop f5 is much more common than knight f6, but recently knight f6 has been really played by a lot of players. So like it's even more common than bishop f5 right now. So actually, I'm really curious about this thing, because I think bishop f5 is like more modern probably, or like more, I don't know, it should be more common than knight f6. But recently I'm just facing a lot of players who are playing knight f6. After knight takes, e takes f6, c3 was played, bishop d6, bishop d3, and h5. So actually here, h5 is not the best move, like not the most common line here. I mean, you should just go, for example, like short castle or c5 here, just to develop your pieces, or knight d7, for example. But in the game, Alexandra played h5, and actually you can see that just by looking at her time use, you can see that she spent 2 minutes thinking about this move. So maybe she is trying to remember her opening preparations, or she is just trying to think, okay, or maybe Nodirbek is playing something that she didn't prepare. So now maybe she is trying to think, okay, now I am already out of my preparation. So what should I do to get out of, maybe he is still in his preparation. So how do I get out of his preparation? So after all of this, we'll need to compete against each other with pure calculation instead of preparations. So here she thought for about 2 minutes and now played this h5 move, which is actually a very aggressive like option and not that common actually. So but anyway, she played h5, and you can see that in the game, Nodirbek spent 5 minutes thinking about this knight f3 move, which means that he is also getting out of his like opening preparation. Well, this means that after this h5 move, the rest of the game are all by pure calculation by these two players. So, knight f3 was played, it is the best move, and h4. So, Alexandra says that I'm just gonna keep like pushing my pawn, and what are you gonna do? Like, are you going to stop it or not, or just ignore it? And in the game, Nodirbek played h3 immediately to stop the pawn from going h3, because if you just allow black to go h5, h4, h3, that would be too annoying. So, in the game, h3 was played, and now bishop e6, short castle, queen d7, rook e1, and king f8. So, actually, already in this position, I'm gonna go back here a little bit. I think like Alexandra is also getting a little bit confused by her own play, because I think she is not familiar with this line h5, h4 line. So now she is like using a lot of her time. And here played this very, like, it looks very normal, this bishop e6 move, but actually it is just not a good move, because the bishop just does not stand good on e6. Like, white will always have b3, c4 ideas, and the bishop is actually just pretty useless. Because like this whole diagonal, even though it is all open to like this bishop scope, but he can't really, like the bishop cannot really attack anything, and the bishop also like blocks this e file for like the black's rook, for example. And so like here instead, what black should have played is to go king f8 immediately and then go g6, king g7. Also note that in this opening here, black cannot go short castle anymore because of this h4 pawn. He needs to keep the you need to keep the rook on the h file to like defend the h4 pawn. So this means that in order to get your king to safety, you have to go king f8 and g6. So in the game, bishop e6 was played, and after short castle, queen d7, rook e1. I mean, like Kosteniuk, she is just doing these things too slow. She should have gone king f8, g6, king g7 first, and then like develop all of these pieces, because the king's safety is the most important thing after all. In the game, king f8 was played, and now knight d2. Knight d2 is actually a very like I mean, it is okay. But another, like, a better option would be for you to go c4 here. c4, like, even though you had gone c3 first, but then you go c4, it might seem like you're losing a tempo, but actually not, because now I can see that because, like, black's bishop is placed on e6, you now have, like, d4 ideas coming up. Alright, so, yeah, so here c4 should have been played and threatened to go d5 somehow, like bishop e4, d5, but instead, in the game, like Nodirbek playing knight d2, like probably he is about to go, for example, like knight e4, but I think it is also possible, but not, like, it's just too solid and too slow. In the game, bishop c7 was played, and after knight e4, b6. Now, this is actually a mistake. I understand why Kosteniuk is playing b6, because I think she wants to prevent knight c5, which is actually a very annoying move. But what she should have played instead is to go bishop d5 to move the bishop away, and now knight c5. At least you cannot take the bishop on e6. Now I just have to move the queen, and also threaten some tricky mating ideas on the king side. Alright, so in the game, however, b6 was played, and after queen f3, queen d5, b3, now threatening like some bishop b2, like c4 ideas, and in the game, queen h5 was played, offering a trade of queens, and you can see that actually, like, this is move 15, and already Kosteniuk is using like a lot of her time. She only has 18 minutes left on the clock, so she needs to pace up, like she needs to play faster. And actually, already in this position, white is already gaining a lot of not information. What am I saying? A lot of advantage. So queen h5 was played, queen e3 and knight d7, bishop a3 check, king g8. So actually, instead of knight d7 is okay, but you should also focus on g6, king g7 as well somehow to get the king to safety. But now after bishop a3, you have to go king g8, and after c4, f5, knight g5, f4, queen f3, queen takes f3. Now the main problem is that, like, I mean, you can take on g5, but now there's a lot of calculation stuff. And here actually white can go rook takes e6, and if black were to take on e6, now there's queen takes c6. Like, this is actually a really complicated position, because you can see that white is sacrificing a full rook right now. Like, white is down a full rook right now, but she is about to give all the pieces back. Like, the queen is attacking the knight, the bishop, the rook right now, and it might seem like queen d8 is about to like defend all the things, but you're just falling for queen e6 mate in one. So like, this move is really powerful, attacking the knight, the bishop, the rook, as well as threatening mate in one. So this is actually a really like powerful move. It has 4 uses. So, queen c6, how do you like prevent all of this, like the deadliest things? You just go rook e8 actually to, first of all, run away with the rook, and second of all, defend the e6 pawn, like prevent the queen e6 mate in one idea. Now, white will just take on d7, and after queen d8 back, I mean, white is actually slightly better here because black's king is just too weak, and like white does have a lot of compensation for the lost material. Alright, so let's go back in the game, and after queen takes f, so that's why queen g5 was not played, because I think Kosteniuk definitely saw rook e6 and queen c6. So that's why she took on f6, but now after this, knight takes f3, I mean, even here g takes f3 is also possible. It is even better than knight takes f3, but it doesn't matter. After knight takes f3, like if it were, I don't know, if Nodirbek had played this more carefully, he should have just won this game. But after knight f6, knight g5, like, actually this is all fine. He is playing his best, moves. Like, this is all fine. And you can see that black's king is just in big trouble. I mean, this is just completely losing for black, it seems like, because the king is just way too dangerous, and white is just throwing all of his pieces onto the king's face. But now the problem happens. So this is all fine, and you can see that Kosteniuk only has like 18 seconds on the clock. Well, of course, they've reached the second time control here, and like when you reach move 30 and you've played you played 30 moves, then you'll gain another 30 minutes. So yeah. Rook b8, and now here Kosteniuk played bishop c7. Okay, now actually here, white's advantage is slightly down a bit. Like before here, where Nodirbek has gone wrong. Here, in the game he played bishop e4, which is the best move, and after bishop d8, actually he is just winning here after rook takes c8, and after knight takes c8, bishop takes f5, b takes a5, even though this is like 2 minor pieces against a rook. But just look at black's pawn structure. Like, this is just the most terrible pawn structure ever that can happen, like on a chessboard. So like all of the 6 pawns, they are either double pawns or isolated pawns, and white is just gonna win in this position because, I mean, white is not, like, the pawns are all equal. Like, both sides have, well, not because black has 6 pawns, white has 7 pawns, but the 2 minor pieces together, they are count as like 6 points, and white has a rook, 5 points, but white is up a piece, like up a pawn, so the points are equal. Like, the material are equal, basically. But here, just look at the pawn structures, as well as these 2 minor pieces' activeness. It's just completely winning for white. So, yeah. So, I don't know why Nodirbek didn't saw this. I mean, he still has 7 minutes left on the clock, and he should have just stopped, calm down, and calculate all of these things carefully. But in the game, he played rook b7, which is the second best move. But this move just like throws half of the advantage away. Rook b7, rook g5, rook b8, bishop c7, and rook c8, f3, and here he played a blunder here, blundering the game, like not blundering the game away, but blundering the game to a draw. So here he played, actually there's just an only move here. I mean, you can just actually take on c7 here. It's a free bishop. And I don't know what like Nodirbek was afraid of, like rook takes g2 doesn't work at all. You can like go king h1. I mean, probably he thought that like he probably calculated king f1 and thought that there was knight e4 and this will be just winning for black, but he missed king h1 unfortunately, and because after takes, rook takes, king h1, now knight e4 threatening knight f2 mate. White can just defend calmly with bishop e1, and now you can see that there's just nothing, no counterplay at all for black. This is just dead lost. So, but I think probably Nodirbek just didn't saw bishop e1, and here he played this blunder, not blunder, but miss g4, missing the winning opportunity and making this game a draw. Like, this position is already a draw, but in the game, the result is even more, like, shocking. So, in the game, g4 was played, and there's now en passant. And the only move to equalize the position for Kosteniuk, and of course, en passant, she saw it, h6, g3, and now rook f8. So 2 misses in a row, and this should cost the game. So h6, g3 was played, and now actually already black is having a great position. I mean, even though the eval bar says it is an equalized position, but you just, by looking at the position, in human eyes, black is having some advantages, because just look at these terrifying pawns. Like, they're just so, like, the king is now, like, these pawns are just right in front of the king's face. The rook is, like, indirectly pointing at the king and also the bishop. The knight is always in is always ready for 94 jumps. So actually already white is under some trouble here, and the only move here is to hold the position is a move that is not that easy to see, which is to go bishop e7. And now if black were to go, for example, like knight e4, which is the best move, if you take on bishop g5, knight takes f2, and rook e, can you just imagine white is up more than half a piece, but this is just a draw. And now black can just go king h7, and there's nothing white can do about this position, because you can just white can just keep checking, and after king g8 king g8 or king g6, and after rook c7, knight h3, they'll just be 3 repetition. If you go king f1, you'll be even losing after g2, because black will just promote. But this is, of course, this needs a lot of calculation, bishop e7, and it's not that easy to see. So, in the game, rook f, so that's why rook f1 was played, and it's just losing this game. So, g2 was played, and after rook e1, rook h5, and after rook e3, Nodirbek is trying to save the position and attacking the f3 pawn, but after bishop h2, a brilliant move found by, Kosteniuk. She can even just play rook takes h3, because now, but probably it's not that quick. Bishop h2 is already forcing mate in 3, but here after rook takes h3, white can just take on f3. Of course, still black will be winning, but it's not that fast. Why not go mate in 3 immediately? So, after bishop h2, king takes, rook takes, king takes h3, and after g1 equals queen, if you were to go here king g1, that would be mate in 1. So in the game takes, but after queen, rook c8, and after king h7, Nodirbek calculated for a few moves, no drawing chances or no forking the queen, and now here in this position, he resigned the game, and Kosteniuk won this game. But unfortunately, there are supposed to be 2 games in a row, and you can see that here. Let me found the plays, the games here. Nodirbek Abdusattorov versus Alexandra Kosteniuk. So Alexandra won her first game, but then lost the second game, and during during the fast game. So this game was here. So during this game here, it is very important to know the rules because like when the two games, like you have your score equalized, now you have to know that you are going to play in a more like special time control where black just needs to hold the draw. If black were able to hold the draw, like if this game ended in a draw, then it counts as a win for black. So white is in a must-win situation here. And in the game, Nodirbek was able to hold the position, and he drew this game, which meant that black is actually winning. Like this counts as a win for black, and that is why like Nodirbek in the end won. In the whole result, in all the results, he has won against Alexandra Kosteniuk, and now he has qualified into the next stop. Alright, so like this is what is happening right now. So these are the 8 players that will be playing in the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals, and then the final. So hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'm gonna find that game back. So hope you guys enjoyed this game. So Alexandra Kosteniuk actually played a really good game. She was definitely losing in the middle game part, but then she didn't give up, and in the end she finally found a way to win, because Nodirbek just made 2 mistakes in a row, and that's just costing a whole game. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and please like my videos, and please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!